This video here is about remote control and in my particular situation. Now this software is just for the Macintosh, so if you have a PC, don't keep looking, because you're not going to like how cool this is and you can't do it. It's actually an excuse to buy an iPad or an iPhone. If you have an iPhone, it'll work there too. But I've got it on a Mac laptop here, and I'll show you. It's called SDR Control. It's made by a gentleman named Marcus in Germany, and he's got it for several different radios. I think he had something to do with the software for the Flex, so that gives you some idea how much experience he has. I have a 7610 sitting here, and before I just show you that, I'm going to show you something else that's really cool. He keeps adding things to it, no charge, just new updates. Like, oh cool, what's it going to do next? I think his last update lets me work with the Green Heron Engineers controller here. Mine's not one that's connected to the internet, so it doesn't work. Anyway, so this is a 7610, and this is my laptop. I have a remote antenna switch here by Larry. I'll put the information on him in the comments also. This switch, you can put 12 volts to it and it closes the switch. You take the 12 volts off and it opens it. It's pretty simple. I was, by the way, kind of curious how it opens if you take off the power. Well, he charges these 1 farad caps up, and there's plenty of voltage to open the thing up and probably run your house for an hour. It's pretty cool. So one other thing, something that he added to it recently, is this little box called WaveShare, which it's about $50. Well, with tariffs and stuff, it's more. But WaveShare is just a bunch of relays and some sensors if you wanted to sense temperatures or whatever, and it hooks up to the net. It's hardwired. I don't think there's Wi-Fi in it, so you got to plug it in. But it's pretty cool. So I have one of those relays connected to this. That is set up so let's say I'm doing remote here. Okay, this is my remote setup, and I'm going to connect to that radio, and I'm going to do it using my remote IP address, or the IP address is not the local address. I'm going to use the address coming in from outside. And watch this. Pretend I'm not here next to the radio. I'm not in the station. I'm somewhere else. And watch the antenna relay here, and you won't see much difference in the radio, but I'm going to hit connect. That relay kicked in, which closed my antenna switch, so my radio is connected to the antenna. And now I'm using the remote, and frankly, I like the scope on the remote one better than the one on the radio. It's so much more dynamic. It's pretty cool. So anyway, here the SDR control, you can do so much stuff with it. I'm just kind of showing you that it's out there. If you've got a Mac, you need to look into it. As far as the number of tools I can connect is phenomenal. You can hook a bug up to a USB port and run CW with it. You can't do that with a straight key or a bug. It has to be key or paddles. But still, you don't have to use a keyboard if you don't want to. On the modes, you've got everything here. I actually can use PSK here. I haven't figured it out on that. There's SSTV, there's Whisper, of course there's FT8. FT8 works really well. As a matter of fact, it's one of those FT8s that you can get on there, call CQ, and if you're one of those that likes to go to dinner, come back and find out how many people you worked, you can do that, because as soon as it works somebody, it'll call CQ again. There's a limit to how many times it'll do that, but anyway. So I love this. This is phenomenal. I use this all the time. I can use either one of my stations from the other side if I want, or if I'm out, camping or whatever, I can get to my gear, which is awesome. But good stuff. Best software that I've seen so far. I do use a different one, which is also very good, called Remote TX. The Remote TX is an advantage that this one doesn't have. Remote TX does not require, I mean, you can use it from anywhere. It's web-based, and my station up in the mountains is behind a CGNAT, which is like a carrier-grade network is what that means, which means I can't get to it normally. It doesn't have an IP address. The Remote TX allows you to do that. With this one, I'm working on doing a bridge and using zero tier to tunnel into the station there. And with that, I'll be able to use this also. I used to be in IT, and I'm still struggling with just a simple bridge for some reason. Anyhow, so there's the software here. There's an antenna switch, and of course, who doesn't know how 7610 works? But it's pretty awesome. Anything you want to do is good. Oh, one more thing. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me turn it down. Okay. You might hear the click from over here. You can program that to, if this has been connected to, connect the antenna. But you can have another switch set up so when you transmit, you hear the click? It's actually keying another relay if I transmit. And you can have it do that to multiple relays. So I can have a on the air sign come up or whatever I wanted to do. Marcus is very imaginative, does a great job. I can't say enough about him. By the way, the Remote TX software is written by a guy named Marcus too. So basically, I'm not going to work with any software that's not written by a guy named Marcus. So anyway, there's all of that. If you have questions, you can leave them in the comments, of course, and I'll try and answer them. Let's watch what happens when I disconnect here. I'm not going to power it down. If I hit this button, it'll power that down. But if I just hit disconnect, disconnects the antennas and leaves that on. Let's go back to, I'll just tell it to power down. Do the remote again here. Okay, antennas are connected. And I'm going to, now I'm going to hit the power button. Disconnects the antenna, turns off the radio, puts it in the standby mode so I can connect to it again, and we're all set. Pretty simple. Very, very cool. I like it a lot. For the switch itself, I put another video out there where I wrote a Node-RED software program, which I can use on my computers or phone, whatever. It's web-based, so it doesn't matter. And from anywhere, with one screen, I can engage or disengage either one of the antenna switches in both locations. So it's pretty cool. It just uses a Raspberry Pi and Node-RED, which is pretty simple. But each one of those is custom. So you gotta understand Node-RED, which is pretty easy if you've got any programming background or understand logic. Basically, if you know that there's 4 quarters and $1, you're pretty much on your way. You don't have to be much smarter than that. All right, 73s, have fun. If you hear me on, expect a rag chew.